Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and here is my second card this week using the Stampin' Up! embossing paste. And on this one here, I colored my embossing paste with a reinker. I was using smoky slate paper, so I decided to go tone on tone to make my background brick. I just liked that look. Let me show you two other ones that I made previously. This one here is also white. This is straight out of the container, white embossing paste on white paper, and that makes a nice soft look for that. This one here, I colored it like I did with this one, but I colored it in a contrasting color. My paper was white, and I colored it with Cajun Craze. On this one, I decided to go a little differently, so I did tone on tone. So it's smoky slate reinker on smoky slate paper. So let me tell you what we're going to need to make this card. We have Daffodil Delight as our card base, and it's an A2 size, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we have a piece of basic black as our matting piece, and that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then we have a piece of smoky slate, which is 3 3/4 by 5. These measurements will all be on my blog. We also need some scrap paper to make our daisy out of, and this is scrap Daffodil Delight. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color, the first thing I'm going to do is do my stamping, because I want to make sure that I leave enough room on my card for my sentiment and my flower stem before I emboss my brick. So to do that, I'm going to use two stamp sets. The Daisy Delight, I'm going to use this stem right here, and the Sunshine Sayings, which I've had this for. I'm going to use the Sunshine Sayings, which is a great stamp set. There's a lot of sayings that go with that, and it also has a coordinating die, Sunshine Wishes, and a lot of these sayings can be paired up with the words on the framelits. We're going to use this Sunshine, and then there's a butterfly, a heart, another flower, and then you have hope, love, and congrats. So this is a great little set. I'm going to be using more of it as we go on. But so the first thing I'm going to do is, with some garden green ink, I am going to stamp my stem. And I brought this piece of paper in because my stem is going to go off of my paper just a little bit on the bottom, and I didn't want to get it on my stamp pad. And I'm using a stamp pad because this is a photopolymer stamp set. So I'm going to stamp that right there. Now with some basic black to pick up the black matte piece, I'm going to stamp You Are My. I'm going to stamp that up in the top left corner. Right about here. Alright, now I can get started on my embossing paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of my way. And I'm going to mix my embossing paste with my reinker right on this piece of scrap paper. You can put it in a little painter's palette. You can put it on wax paper. You can do it on your silicone pad. You can do it on a paper plate, but I'm just going to put it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing paste. Now, embossing paste, right out of the jar, has a consistency of frosting. It looks great. It looks delicious. And Stampin' Up! Also offers a package of 3 palette knives that you can use when you're using your embossing paste. Honestly, I don't know what the difference is in the 3 shapes. I just mix and match when I use them. So today I think I'll use this one here. And then the mask I'm going to use, excuse me, is the brick that comes from the Pattern Party Decorative Mask. And here's the brick. It's a package of 4. Let's see if I have the other 4 right here. on Monday, we used this diamond one. Today we're going to use this brick one. Later in the week, we're going to use this medallion one. And then there's also this cloud one, which I haven't used yet, but I envision this done with white on a soft sky background and the little clouds sprinkled with dazzling diamonds. I've got that idea in my head. I just have to get it onto some paper. But anyway, so here is my card base, and I'm going to put a little bit of repositionable tape on the back just to hold my piece steady. Then if you need to, if you feel like you need to, you can certainly take your mask, and after you line it up where you want it to go with a little bit of washi tape or painter's tape, whatever you have, you can just tack that down so it doesn't move. Let's see, I have it crooked here. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little bit of embossing paste. Now, like I said before, a little bit goes a long way, and I'm just going to put that right there. I'm going to take my reinker, and I'm going to start small. I'm going to start with one dot, and then I'm going to mix it up. And if I think it's too light, I can always go in and add a little more. But if I think it's too dark, I'm kind of stuck with it unless I start over. So I like the way the one looks. I just mix that up a little better. I'm going to scoop it onto my palette knife. Now I can see where my stem is and where my writing is. So I envision my brick wall going right here. So that's where I'm going to start laying down my embossing paste. And again, you want to go in the same direction, because if you go back and forth, rubbing it in back and forth, you're going to get it in the little grooves there. And you can see how much is coming out that I'm not using, because like I said, it really, a little bit does really go a long way. Okay. Now I think I have a nice layer there. I'm going to lift my mask, put that aside right there, and lift this up so you can see just how beautiful it looks. And there we have it. Now I'm going to put this aside to dry. The embossing powder does take about 3 to 5 minutes to dry. So while it's drying, it's a perfect time for you to wash your tools. If you leave your tools unwashed while you make your card, when you go back to clean this, you're going to find that the embossing paste is stuck on it. So if you can't get to a sink right away, I would suggest you just keep a little container of warm water at your desk and drop these in there while you finish your card. But I have some time, so I'm going to run over to the sink and wash these. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my card, and my tools are washing, and I'm going to put my card together now. So I'm going to bring in my pierce mat because I'm using a photopolymer stamp set again. And what I'm going to do on this piece of scrap Daffodil Delight is I'm going to stamp 2 daisies from the Delightful Daisy stamp set. I'm going to stamp one on each side. And then I'm going to punch them out with the coordinating daisy punch. Now what I have found to make them fit better in the stamp is if I just trim, I could find my snips, just trim the corner, they fit in the punch beautifully. So I'm going to line that up. And punch. And And then come in and do the same with this one here. Line that up. And punch. Now before I attach those to my card, I want to give my leaves a little bit of dimension. So to do that, I'm going to take my bone folder and gently, remembering you're working with paper, I'm just going to curl the petals over. Like I said, be gentle or it's going to snap. Alright. Then with a glue dot, actually I think I'll use some snail. I'll put a little snail on the back. I'm going to line my daisy up. A little bit of snail over here. Line it up. Then, with an iced rhinestone, I'm going to just put that right smack in the middle. There we go. Okay, so that part is done. Now I can put my card together, and all I have to do is die cut my sunshine. So I'm going to put my black right on my Daffodil Delight, and then I'm going to and there's a very small border. Okay. Now I have a piece of scrap Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to go die cut out sunshine, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back with my sunshine cut out. Now I'm just going to attach it to my card. I'm going to bring in my silicone pad, and when you die cut it out, make sure you hold on to your the dot of your eye. I'm going to use my fine tip glue. Add a little bit here and there. You don't need a whole lot, just on the parts, the edge parts. I'm going to carefully lift this up. Line that up right there. A little bit. A little bit of glue right there. Drop my dot in it. It's so tiny. There we go. Now that's pretty in and of itself. But I'm going to bring in some Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to go over my letters to give it a little bit of shimmer. And there we go. And push those pieces down a little harder. Now I know the Wink of Stella doesn't show up good on videos, and that is so unfortunate because it really does add such a nice touch to paper. I'll see if I can bring it up there and you can see the shine on it. And there we have it. You are my sunshine. And that's another way to use your embossing paste. If you have any questions about this project or any of the products that I used, please contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And while you're there, I encourage you to sign up for my newsletter, which I send out every Tuesday, and it has a direct link to all of the videos that I've posted the previous week, as well as information of any of Stampin' Up's promotions and sales coming up. I also have some program information on programs that I run for my customers, a refer a friend program, a frequent buyer program where you can earn some free product. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I'll see you back here on Friday for another way to use your embossing paste. Thanks so much.